We're all feeling a little bit stressed these days. Most of us pretty much disconnected by the foods that we eat. I want to give you a few tips on how to pick great produce, because for me it's about starting with fresh, seasonal quality ingredients. That's going to up your flavor, give you better quality food, and make everything taste great. For example, look at how awesome this Swiss chard looks. What I like to look for in greens is the leaves are firm, nice and full, stalks are nice and firm, color is great, you can see there's no blemishes, everything is really nice and crisp. That way I know it's going to give me really good flavor. So that's a good rule of thumb for the greens. This is something I love using. Check these beets out. You've got the great bulb in the bottom because this is a root vegetable, but the tops really show you how fresh they are. I actually love eating the tops of the greens, so you don't want to waste those. This is an indicator of how fresh these are. These are beautiful for roasting. You can also boil them. They're great in a soup. Very versatile for fall. Really good thing to use. So speaking of the season, you've got your wonderful fall produce here. Pomegranates, an assortment of pears. This will tell you these are perfect at this time of year. Fall is about these warm, hearty, great fruits that can be used in a variety of different ways. So don't feel like you've got to just use them one way. I mean, they're even great in a salad. So you're walking down the aisle and you've got a couple of choices here. I've got strawberries on my left and I've got apples on my right. It's fall. Which should I buy? So clearly, the strawberries this time of year are coming from far away. Even in their local California, it's not the peak season, so I'm not getting the most flavor. I'm paying a lot of money for them. Clearly not a good time to be buying strawberries. Apples, on the other hand, check out the variety. Most of these are locally grown. A lot of them are certified organic. Look at the selection. The fruit is saying, buy me. This is the right choice to make, just by virtue of the variety. For me, fall is really captured by my buddies here, squash. They are so versatile, lots of different varieties. Look at even this spaghetti squash, if you're looking for an alternative to pasta. Another thing that I always encourage, and in my book particularly, reading the labels, asking questions. So if you come down here and you say, it says locally grown, you know, it's close to home, it's from where you live. And we're on the West Coast, so if it's not in season in BC and it's coming from California, at least it's the next best thing. I encourage you to ask questions, read labels, become a nuisance in the store, because that way you're going to have the best information and your food's going to taste better and you're going to have more quality in the product that you buy. So let me show you these herbs here. Sometimes you might see them in a package. This does not mean that they're not fresh. This in fact keeps them fresh in the little package in smaller amounts, and a lot of these say locally grown fresh herbs. You know, there's no reason anymore to be using dried herbs. So easy to find, and these are going to add huge amounts of flavor to anything you cook. I'm a big fan of the fresh herb, gotta say. A lot of people are afraid of fish, and I've got a lot of recipes for it, really good for you. Salmon, for example, if you're kind of a novice, easy to cook, nice rich fish, and very versatile as well. You can pan fry, you can barbecue it, you can bake it. That's a good one, it's a little bit forgiving. One of my favorites, if you want to work up to it, is the halibut, the king of the fish and chips for me. It's a little bit of a leaner fish, so you want to make sure to not overcook it, and actually err on slightly undercooking it. If you buy fresh fish, you can go a little bit under, and the flavor is going to be there and it won't be dry. How do you know it's fresh? I'm going to give you 3 ways to pick fresh seafood. 1, it should smell only of the sea, so it shouldn't smell fishy. 2, the flesh should be firm, so it should really feel firm. And 3, it should still have that slime on it from the ocean. Slime looks like a bad thing, but it's actually really good, and when that slime is on it, you know it's still fresh. So you got to look for those 3 things always. Ask a lot of questions and get to know the people behind the counter. These guys know when, for example, this fish came in. So I like to say, when did this fish come in? And if they tell me a couple of days ago, I know 100% that it's going to be ultra fresh when I take it home. That's going to give me the best quality. It's a good thing to get to know these guys because they won't steer you wrong. So a great trick that I use when I'm shopping is I shop the perimeter of the store first. That's all my fresh stuff. So the produce, veggies, dairy, meat, fish. Get all my bulk and then head into the center aisles where usually most of those packaged goods are, because a lot of people load up on the packaged stuff and they don't really have room for your fresh perimeter shopping. So it's something that I love to do. It's a good little trick. Let me show you a little thing about beef. Oftentimes, something will say dry age. That's where the meat will sit for almost a month, maybe even longer. That actually adds more flavor and tenderizes the meat. So when it comes to beef, fresher is not necessarily better. Now, lamb and pork, I like to go locally grown. There are different specifications to locally grown product than there is to something coming from abroad. So I like to buy the locally grown stuff. These sausages, they're obviously handmade here, so this tells me somebody's taking the time, they're adding lots of interesting ingredients, there's going to be a lot of turnover. You know this is going to be a heck of a sausage. So when it comes to chicken, I say fresh is a really big thing, so look at the dates. If it's a great counter like this, when you take it home, either the day that you bring it or the next day I would use it. Look for things like free run or free range, and then air chilled. Air chilled is a really important thing. That means when they're actually chilling down the chicken, it's cooled and it's not, there's no water added to it. Sometimes when you buy chicken, they add water to it to cool it down, and then that sort of comes out when you're cooking it. So you get like a steamed kind of chicken. Air chilled, good way to go. You're going to notice that a lot of your grocery stores have huge variety of cheeses popping up. And North America is becoming quite renowned actually for artisanal cheeses like you see here. I say mix it up. You're going to find lots of great ideas. And you would never have thought maybe to mix blue cheese with eggplant. But in my book, there's just a dynamite recipe with grilled Japanese eggplant. And this cheese, I can't even tell you how good it would be. It's a blue from Quebec called Benedictine. Unbelievable. So as you can see, the ingredients are pretty important to me. I walked you around the whole store. This brings me to my book, Pure Food, which is really about bringing you back to the ingredient. So how do you get great flavor in your food? Start with good quality seasonal ingredients and use techniques that are fairly simplistic. I promise you under an hour each recipe. Some are super quick, but nothing is more than an hour. So here's my menu for you as far as autumn goes. There is a wonderful autumn vegetable soup. Comes together in less than an hour. Uses some chanterelles, which you have out west locally, sweet potatoes, and a little bit of broccoli. And there's a great little ingredient in there, some red lentils. That makes it nice and creamy. Wonderful hearty soup. I think for a second course, you're gonna love the black cod in crazy water. I mean, how West Coast is that? And the black cod is actually paired here with a little mushroom and then some red wine, believe it or not, and a little bit of tomato paste. So earthy flavors, very unexpected, delicious. And to me, any finale, chocolate, and it's the silky chocolate pudding. The little unexpected twist of orange zest and candied ginger. I won't lie to you, it's highly addictive. I also like to get you excited because I feel that the cooking process is an attitude. When you have fun with the food and when you say, I want to go and make the best dish ever, even if it's a little sandwich, it's going to taste great, and it's about the attitude you bring to it. So that's really pure food in a nutshell.